If you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Neeciiw here and I'm back with a new video. I'm just doing my intro and outro. Your girl is not feeling too well. But yes, a huge trigger warning for today's video. I'm going to be speaking on Denisha Delancy case, and this is a heartbreaking story. Like, huge trigger warning. I'm so triggered by this story, so I just want to spread awareness, condolences and prayers to her family. So a quick backstory. So Denisha, she's from Miami and she went on holiday for her birthday. So she was 29 and she went to St. Martin's, which is in the Caribbean. And she met a guy, they're at the club, turning up. They rented out a B&B, an Airbnb out there, and they had a personal driver that drove them wherever they wanted to go. And he was a local, so we know who was who, which is good. So, they took all the right steps. She met a guy in the club. He is handsome. And apparently, allegedly, he's like a big like drug pin out there, and he's got a lot of eyes on him and a lot of beefs. So they were out one night at the club where he met. He's throwing money, he's spoiling them, and she wanted to stay back while her sister and friend went back to the Airbnb. Listen, probably like an hour later, the guy and her ended up being unalived. So at first, her sister thought it was a car crash, just, things happen. But come to find out, if the rabbit hole goes deep, that they were unalived, and you could just tell, like when the police turned up, they were like, this was personal. You know what I mean? There's unalived, and you have to figure out, but basically they had headshots. You know what I mean? And if you know anything about headshots, that means no, so they don't want no survivors. So, it's kind of like she was with the wrong people, wrong place, wrong time, that whole story. And it's just heartbreaking. Like, I know someone, so this was my children's godfather who went on holiday and he came back in a body bag. Like, that stays with you forever, especially when you don't get no justice. So just prayers to our family, and I hope they do get justice, but it seems very slim. So I'm gonna roll the news report and then we'll hear from her sister, because her sister's not here for it. Because a lot of people are blaming Denisha, blaming the sister. Now, listen, I've been on holiday where people meet guys and they go on dates with them or they go off with them. Everyone's grown. There's only so much you can do. Obviously, you can like share your opinion and be like, I don't think you should go out with him, but she was a grown woman. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. You get. Listen, the thing with bullets, yeah, anyone can get hit. You can walk out your house and get knocked over, hit by a bus, like anything. Like when it's your time, it's your time. Could this have been avoided? Of course, but we're here now. So with the whole, who they need to find? They need to find the people that actually unalived her. Like, how are you blaming her sister? And of course, her sister's gonna have survival guilt. She's gonna probably be like, "Oh, I should have tried harder to bring her back to the Airbnb." You know what I mean? But I just love how she's going off and she's not here for it. So I'm gonna roll this clip and I will be back.
A 29-year-old Miami woman went on vacation with her sister and was fatally struck by a gunshot, coming home in a casket. Denisha Delancy, born and raised in Liberty City, Miami, was known for her vibrant personality and love for traveling and enjoying life. In March, she traveled to St. Martin with her sister Senkoria and a close friend to celebrate Senkoria's 29th birthday, their first trip to the island. The three women stayed at a beautiful Airbnb on the Dutch side and even hired a private driver to stay safe while exploring. During the trip, they met a man from Trinidad who seemed friendly and generous, paying for drinks and making sure they were taken care of. But that night took a tragic turn. Feeling comfortable, they dismissed their driver and chose to ride with him instead. Hours later, Denisha never made it back. Her sister repeatedly called her phone, no answer. Authorities later revealed Denisha was accidentally caught in gunfire and killed, turning a birthday getaway into a heartbreaking tragedy. Her family is now searching for answers and urging others to stay cautious, even in paradise.
Yeah, guys, you just heard that. And the clips, yeah, doing research for this video, the clips that I got and just seeing the family breakdown, her mom breakdown, it's heartbreaking. So beautiful, so young, had a whole life ahead of her. And she's just been taken like this. Like, it's horrible. But yeah, guys, again, stop the victim blaming and shaming the sister. I've been on holiday. I love to travel. Like, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. But I'm always promoting, fly out. It is literally a luxury. Like I remember during 2020, I didn't start flying out again until like 23 after I had my youngest. And I spent 4 months in Nigeria. I was like, listen, I'm on maternity leave. So definitely travel, but there's risk to it. You know what I mean? Life is a risk. Like I said, you can step out, just go to your local shop and get, you know what I mean, get hit by a bus or whatnot. But listen, for me, yeah, Taken and Hostel, those live rent free in my head. They're like my favorite films. I'll put them there. If you're getting into traveling, solo traveling, watch those films. You know what I mean? I know it's about kidnapping and torture and all that stuff, but you know what I mean? Things go down when you're on holiday. People watch you from the way you walk, talk, dress. They know you're not from there. With Jamaica, I hate going to Jamaica because the mosquitoes bite me up. They already know I'm not from there, but the mosquitoes just make it 10 times worse. You know what I mean? But you literally have to keep your head on a swivel because, yeah, the people are out. Like, they think, yeah, just because you come from America or the West, then the UK, you've got money. So some people try and kidnap you for ransom, like all sorts. And some people are just evil and demonic and just want to unalive you. So, yeah, the story is very, very heartbreaking. And it almost happened to myself. Like, shout out to my girl, Sophie. I'll put our pictures here. We went to Greece. So I want to say this was a couple of years back. I can't remember. And a guy, yeah, out of nowhere. So this was like our third night. He just arrived at the hotel because, again, being in a hotel, you see who's coming in, who's checking in, checking out. And we were at the bar chilling, doing our thing. And he approached us. He was like, "If you want to know the real Greece, I can take you. I can show you around." And me and my friend were just like, gassing him up, like, "Yeah, yeah," making plans to meet him here the next morning. She's watched Taken, like she knows she's just like me, but the white version, like we just laughed it off once we got back to our room because when he left us alone, we got off. We were like, nah, this guy's creeping us out. We laughed it off, made sure the door was hella locked, put our suitcases behind the door. Like, listen, guys, when I tell you, yeah, so obviously we didn't meet him. We saw him at the pool the next day. So we're enjoying our holiday, got the cocktails, mocktails going, chilling at the pool. We saw him at the pool. And guys, when I say he walked past us, like he didn't know us, like he wasn't chatting us up the night before he walked past us. I was like, we clapped it. He had plans for us. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can get in someone's car, the black bags, the rope, the the instruments, like saws and stuff are in the boot waiting for you. Like, this is crazy. And another reason why this is triggering because my children's godfather, he went on holiday with a group of people he shouldn't have went on. But again, he's grown. People tried to warn him, not go, but he really wanted to fly out. So he flew out. He ended up dying over there. And his body came back in a body bag. And that proper messed us up, like even till today. Like, so he passed in Costa Rica, and that's in like South America, but it just messes with your head, like, because you say goodbye, you're like, oh, make sure you bring me back a nice souvenir. Some people are like, make sure you bring me back some sand. So to get the call that he's passed, and then it was trouble to get his body over to the, because it's such a long distance, like it was just a lot. So I can't imagine what Denisha's family is going through. But yes, guys, in this next clip, it's gonna be her sister going off. Prayers to her, like you can just tell, like she's still hurting.
I'm on my way to see my sister, so I thought now would be the perfect time to get on here and say something because there is just too much victim blaming going on. No matter how y'all try to spin a story, no matter if y'all blaming me, y'all blaming her, whatever, it does not fucking matter. Y'all don't know me and y'all don't know her. And I'm trying to get on here and not curse as much, but y'all really got us fucked up. It doesn't matter however y'all feel, what could have, should have, whatever. It doesn't matter. An innocent life was taken, and that fucking island don't want to do shit about it because they're trying to save face for their tourists. It doesn't fucking matter. We want justice because y'all have an active fucking gang war going on over there between St. Martin and Trinidad. Y'all don't want people to fucking know about it. So all the victim blaming needs to stop because no matter what, we want fucking justice. And I don't even get on here and do shit like this, but y'all got my sister fucked up. And again, I'm trying not to curse, but stop. All we want is justice. For one, I'm not giving y'all the story time, but for one, them fucking people lied to us when we first got there. They told us that it was a car accident. Whole time they fucking knew my sister had got shot. They try to make it seem like, oh, it was just an accident, whatever. If it was not for our driver, we would not know shit. We learned more from the locals than we did from the police. And still to this day, they're trying to keep us out the loop. They don't want to tell us shit. It was not until this story or whatever got some traction that they wanted to update their news site, call her mom, say, oh, we have this person in custody or whatever. But before that, it was fucking crickets from them. They were so nasty to us. When they told me and my girlfriend, they were so nasty. They had no sympathy, no nothing, no empathy, no nothing. They tell us the news, oh, she's been in an accident, and we, reacting, crying, whatever. And they're looking at us like we're fucking crazy, like, okay, y'all can't sit in here and do this. Y'all got to get the fuck out of my office. That's literally how they treated us, and that's how we felt. We was asking for answers for days. It was not until I went back the next day and asked them, was she shot? Because the fucking driver, our private driver, told us that. He told us everything. Everything we already knew before we got there what was up, but they did not want to tell us nothing. They wanted to lie and say it was a car accident to save fucking face for those tourists. Because they did not want it to get out that an American innocent female had been murdered. All we want is justice for my sister. I don't give a fuck how y'all feel. I don't give a fuck how y'all want to turn a narrative on her and say that she could have did this, should have did this. It doesn't fucking matter. She was innocent and did not deserve that shit. Justice for Denisha.
Justice for Janisa. Whew, where do I start? Now, guys, first of all, shout out to the driver and the locals that were, informing them. Because again, she didn't know the guy was a drug pin until the driver was like, oh, yeah, we know him. Like, you know what I mean? Guys, I know you see the Jamaican flag in the background. Listen, when I go to Jamaica, even though like that's my heritage, that's my background, there's do's and don'ts. I have to tell family members where I'm going, what time I'm coming back, how am I getting there, how am I get like listen, the Caribbean, South America, their places are not for the weak. I know people just want to go there, go to the hotel, the resorts, da 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 da. Even doing that, even you traveling, again, you could catch a stray bullet or people could kidnap you. Like places like that, it's just not for the weak. And again, my heritage is Jamaican. The fact that there might be a war between St. Martin's and Trinidad and Tobago is crazy because I was just like, how close? I know where Trinidad and Tobago is, but I didn't know where St. Martin's is. Look at this picture, guys. Like, they're so far away. There's so many islands in between. So I don't know what's going on. Obviously, when you go to these countries, again, it's the lingo, it's the language. So I know in St. Martin's it was colonized by the French, but they stayed in the Dutch part, so it might be half French, half Dutch. I do not know. But it's even things like that, you know what I mean? I've seen so many people go to like countries that speak El Espanol, then people can't speak it. You know what I mean? I've done numerous of videos where women have been trying to get like kidnapped or unalived. There was a kidnap attempt. I did a video on that, so if you've not seen it, do check it out. But they don't care. With my children's godfather, he passed in Costa Rica. The Costa Ricans, the police, they just didn't care. They just see it as another Britannian that's just come over here, da 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 da. Like they really do not care. So to hear how they treated her when she was crying, she was asking, and they're just trying to like get out of my office. That's how they are. Like they do not care. It's crazy. Oh yes, guys. Whew. So triggering, but definitely justice. And the saddest part, I feel like they're not gonna get justice because they're already lying, already saying it was just a simple car crash. But they know, what I mean, it was targeted and what I mean, it was personal. So for me, when people can lie over something so small, you're not gonna get justice. Like not them ringing her mum saying, yeah, we've got someone in custody. BS. I call BS. Just the way they're trying to push the sister out. I don't know how long they were planning to stay over there, but once a person's been all alive, you want to go back home. You're heartbroken. You don't want to stay in that country. You want to be around people you know. Because the sister probably doesn't feel safe. Like, God forbid if it happened to me, I wouldn't feel safe in that country. The fact that the police are pushing me out the office and they don't care, like, get me back home. Like, absolutely not. But yes, guys, let's get into some people's reactions.
You want to know what's the life lesson behind this story right here? is that it could have been avoided. Is that it could have been avoided if we just followed some simple rules, some common sense rules. It is very, very sad that that girl lost her life. And at the end of the day, we can't even say that stuff don't happen in life. Stuff happen everywhere, even from the country that they travel from, America. It be happening every day. And I'm sure it, and again, it's happening all over the world. Moral of the story is that it could have been avoided. If you go out together, you come back home together. And you can't create narratives that don't exist because there is no drug war here. Again, condolences, sorry for your loss, but like it could have been seriously avoided. Like who gets home? Like who travels to Ireland, meet up somebody, party with a person, get home, decide that wasn't enough, and going back out with him again? I don't know. I just feel like that was the point that a group of you collectively could be like, hey, no, we not, you're not going out by yourself. Cause we come together, so we leaving together. Just saying. Well, we gonna stick together. I mean, there's so much. Maybe that's it.
So while he was there with his young lady at the place, it had people marking him. Now, when they left, persons followed them, and you know what? They went for him, so she ended up getting killed as well. The poor sister don't even know what's going on. Now she had to go back to the place by herself, thinking, well, you know, she out there enjoying herself with the guy, she will come back home. Only to hear the news that they found two dead bodies, a male and a female. Her sister. It's so sad, really sad. If she did only know, if this young lady did only know. People, don't forget, when you go out with your peeps, you go out with your folks. You understand what I'm saying? Don't forget, we live together as a team, as a group, we're going back together. Don't separate from your people. You don't know who is who out there.
Did you hear about the woman from Miami who went on vacation with her sister and ended up coming home in a casket? Denisha Delancy was just 29 years old, born and raised in Miami, Florida. A certified baddie from Liberty City, she loved to go out, travel, and enjoy life. This March, they were planning to celebrate her sister Sincaria's 29th birthday by planning a trip to the island of St. Martin with another friend for the very first time. The three young ladies booked a beautiful Airbnb on the Dutch side of the island along with a private driver. As soon as they arrived on the island, they went to their Airbnb, got cleaned up, and immediately went out to have fun at a day party. Later that night, they went to a club called the White Rabbit, and they met a man from Trinidad who was now living in St. Martin. He was being very generous and making sure that they were well taken care of. So by the time the night ended, they told their private driver that they didn't need him anymore, and they decided to ride home with this man because he had also booked an Airbnb just a few doors down from theirs. When they made it back to the room, the birthday girl and their friend Sasha went inside, while Denisha decided she was going to hang out with the men a little bit more. The plan was for them to go back to his Airbnb and hang out, but instead he drove her back to the club, and Denisha never made it back to her sister again. Her sister tried calling Denisha's phone over and over again, but there was no answer. Some hours later, they got a call from their private driver asking them if they were okay. And the girl said yes, but Denisha never made it back from hanging out with that man. When the driver heard this, he said, "Oh no, that man you were with, he was found dead early this morning." When the police first arrived on the scene, they thought it was just another traffic accident. But as they investigated, they saw that it was way more than that. Inside the car, they found a male driver and a female passenger, and they were both unresponsive. But when they investigated further, they realized that the crash was not the cause of their deaths. Police learned that the driver, Quincy Damon Sylvester, was a local businessman who was also suspected of being a drug lord, and police believe this murder was a targeted hit to execute him. Police say they found camera footage showing that there were some unknown men following Quincy around the club all night long. These men allowed them to leave the club and go all the way back to the Airbnb, but when they returned, they took their shot and got their man. Denisha just happened to be with him. Denisha was laid to rest in Miami by her family, who continued to grieve the loss of their daughter. Denisha was having the time of her life, and then her life was taken. What do you think of this story? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tierica with the T. Follow.
Good night, guys. I just wanted to come here and say something. There was an incident that happened about a month ago with a tourist that came here with her sister. Unfortunately, the sister ended up passing away. My sincere condolences and my apologies for your bad experience that you had on the island. She also posted a video about wanting justice for her sister. I just want to say that there is some misinformation in the video. To my knowledge, as a person that lives here in St. Martin, I born here and everything, I just want to say that there is no war between the two islands. I don't know where you get that information from, but please stop spreading wrong information. First of all, why I say that? Because that's just going to make other tourists believe, other people believe that that is true, and they wouldn't want to come to the island. My thing here is, if I have to go on vacation with a sibling or a friend, it could be anybody, and we both having fun, we meet people and stuff like that, or she might end up meeting a guy that she likes and they vibing and stuff. First and foremost, I would not leave my friend go with a person she just met. We on vacation, remember that. We don't know the island, we don't know the country that we in. This could have happened to anybody. I would never leave my friend, go with somebody she just met just because she likes them. You don't know people, you don't know their intentions, you don't know what can happen. Guys, please, when you go on vacation, try to stick together with whoever you come with. You don't know people on the island. You don't just quick to go and trust people just like that. I would never go on vacation and just trust somebody. Come on, we need to do better than that. Again, I ain't blaming nobody. Please, guys, be careful.
For my Gen Xers, I want you to finish this statement. We come together, we leave together. I just heard this story a couple days ago about sisters that went to St. Martin. I don't know if you've heard about it, for vacation. It was one of the girls' birthday. They went to a club, met a gentleman, left the club, but then the one sister wanted to hang out with the gentleman that they just met a little bit longer. They all went back to the Airbnb, dropped off the one sister. Then the other sister went with the gentleman back to his Airbnb. The other sister that didn't go, she's texting her, calling her, not answering. Where's my sister? Well, come to find out, they find the car that they both were traveling in, and it looks like they were in an accident. But then on further inspection, it wasn't an accident. The guy, they say that he's allegedly a drug lord on the island. They looked at the cameras and they saw that there was a couple of guys who were following him the whole night. They shot him and they had to take her out too. So she was just collateral damage. I know the other sister for the rest of her life, she's never going to forgive herself. I know I wouldn't. It wasn't her fault, but I wouldn't. But us Gen Xers, well, I know for me and my girlfriends, when we went away on vacation, or even when we go out to a club, even now, we go together, we leave together. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's something that these young kids, they need to embrace. I know you're grown, but when you're away, it's one band, one sound. One band, one sound.
Ladies, we are at risk. We have to be careful. Our circle will go around and the man them where we are take or the man them where we are go out with. You see the one them where we are go out with? Because apparently, you know, it look like say, no, it's not the driver, them find the two of them dead and the man we should go with, you know. Apparently the man is a drug lord. Some people offer him for kill him. She was an innocent bystander, based on what I get from the story. She is an innocent bystander because the man is a drug dealer, big drug kingpin. The man been a trail him. Them been a trail him. But it's so sad that right as him go look she, as she gone with him, she just get caught up in a crossfire. This is why in these times we can't act careless. We can't be too careless. We can't be too reckless. Things and times change. Fun done. Fun done, I got time now. Fun done.
This girl's story should teach us all to be very careful when we meet strangers. We know we are in a generation where you are like, I'm cool, I make friends anywhere I go. But be careful, because look at this 29 years old Denisha. She all the way from USA. She went with her sister to go and spend vacation in one island. She was celebrating her 29 years old birthday. They went out for clubbing, met this young guy you was seeing on the screen. The guy was all nice to them, like kind, bought them drinks, they had fun, and they went for clubbing. They booked their driver already, which was already well secured. When you book all these drivers from company, they have all their credentials and everything. So they got the driver and told the driver, you can go back home. We have someone who is going to take us back to our hotel, because this guy, the kind guy they met in the club, claims that his own guest house, his own apartment was just a few minutes walk from there. So he drove them home. When they arrived at their own apartment, Denisha told her sister and their other friend that, good night. She was going back to go and hang out with this nice guy she met in the club. She went to hang out with this guy, and after hanging out, the next morning, the sister could not get to her, tried calling her. She was not, her phone was not going through. They had to report to the police. They called the driver that initially took them to the club, and the driver was like, oh, that guy you hanged out with last night is no more. He's dead. And they were like, really? They went to the police. They went to the scene. Police discovered the car. It had initially the police thought it was a car crash and so on. They found Denisha and the guy in there lifeless. So when police carried further investigation, they discovered that this guy was a DRUG lord. So probably he had made away with some money or consignments given for some orders or what. So it was a targeted way to keep to pay him. You have to just for sensitive reasons. So Denisha is just not a victim. She's just a victim because she went out with the guy again. And these people have been targeting the guy because maybe he made up with their money or their orders. You know how this DRUG business operates. She lost her life. She went for vacation with her sister and she's coming back to Miami in a casket. Be careful when you meet strangers. We know you can now, it's a Gen Z world. You meet people on the internet, you meet people, you can make friends anywhere, but be careful. May her soul rest in peace.
So you know how we say if we came together, we stand together and we leave it together? Have y'all heard about Denisha Delancy? She went on vacation with her sister to celebrate her birthday and then came back in a body bag. So they were celebrating a birthday. I think it was her sister's birthday. They went out, of course, and when I tell you they baddies, beautiful girls. So you know the boys was eating her up. They were the birthday, right? So she enjoyed her night, men eat her up. She meet this one man. Of course, they entertaining, they vibing like we do. And the sister was ready to go back to the Airbnb. She decides she's gonna stay with this man because, That's my man for the night. So she stays with him, and sister like, you good? She like, yeah, I'm good. You trust him? Okay, I trust him. Okay, cool. They leave. They leave her with him. He was supposed to take her back to his place, but they ended up not going back to his place. Somehow they end up doubling back, right? Never to be heard from again that night. So the next morning, they had a private driver. The driver called the sister looking for her, and they like, I don't know where she at. Don't nobody know where she at. They calling her, they not getting an answer. So naturally, you call police. Police find a car flipped over on the side of the road with 2 bodies in it. It's Denisha and that young man. So they like, okay, well, maybe they were drunk because, of course, they was partying the night before. They get closer, and they figure out that car was pew, pew, like they're deceased because, of course, they thinking it's an accident, but of course it was foul play. When they rolled the tapes back at the club, guess what? It was men following that man. And I'm pretty sure he knew that man was following him, and he probably thought if he had somebody with him, they would not do what they did, but now she was collateral damage. Can you imagine thinking that, you about to have a good time, and then it ends like that? Now her family has to mourn her. Like, I know we can't predict everything, but listen, we really gotta be safe out here, y'all, because it is getting scary.
Are you guys hearing about the murder of a 29-year-old Florida woman who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, gunned down in a double murder as she rides away with someone unbeknownst to her had $1 million bounty on his head? An alleged drug lord from Trinidad. Now, Denisha Delancy, which is one of the victims, okay, she's 29 years of age and she's a Florida State alumni. Now, she was down in St. Martin with her sister and a couple of friends, and they were celebrating a birthday. They went out to the club where she met this man whose name is Quincy. Now, her family described her as someone who loved life, loved to travel, and enjoying every moment. Now, police obtained nightclub surveillance showing unidentified individuals tracking Sylvester. Okay, that's the guy that she left with before the shooting, suggesting that it was a planned execution. Authorities say Sylvester, who was a Trinidadian national, was suspected of using his PVC pipe business as a front for drug trafficking and had ties to organized crimes. So they're saying that she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but she's just there on vacation. Unbeknownst to her, she met a man who she liked or she was vibing with, and he happens to be this guy who they're following. And on that unfaithful night of March 2nd, they were both gunned down. Now, once this hit the blogs and the news channels, a lot of people have been showing no grace for the victim, the female, because they're saying, well, she should have stayed with her friends. Well, she should have did this. She should have did that. But at the end of the day, this young lady was on vacation. She's a college graduate. She's having a great time. She met a man who she was vibing with. So because of that, did she deserve to die? Like, that's my real question.
Trigger warning, this is a very sad story. Once again, trigger warning, this is a real sad story that happened between a woman and a man on vacation. Okay, so let me read this. So sad. Denisha Delancy went on vacation to St. Martin with her sister and tragically passed away after unknowingly hooking up with a wealthy rug lord who had a $1 million bounty on his head. Both have passed away. So this is the story. Denisha went on a trip with her sister, right? St. Martin's. They got an Airbnb. It was nice. They was chilling. Apparently, they went out to the club that night because they was turned up and they had a driver. They went to the club and they met this man there. This guy right here. He turned up in the club with them. He must have been throwing big money, okay? Because apparently Denisha kind of liked him. He took them home. They told the driver, nah, we don't need you. He gonna take us home. When they got home, her sister and whoever else they went with went back in the Airbnb. She decided to go back out with the man. Now, unbeknownst to her, she riding with a rug dealer. And the island got money on his head, $1 million. So her sister wake up or later in the night, she start getting suspicious. And the driver call and say, I just wanted to make sure everything was good with y'all. And she said, you know what? Everything is good with us, but my sister, she went back out with old boy that we seen at the club, but they ain't come back. Then the driver find the time to tell him, that man is a rug lord. They got money on his head. Why you ain't say shit before, Cletus? Huh? So come to find out, police officers call, say, the car flipped, that they was in. It's a man and a woman occupying it. And both of them is unalive. Well, apparently, it ain't had nothing to do with the car wreck. it was a hit. Okay. Prayers go out to her family because they had her funeral in Miami, man, and she had to get shit back to the States. But this is why y'all got to sit still on these vacations. Don't be minding vacation business. Your ass there to enjoy yourself. People living their lives. Prayers go out to Denisha Delancy and her family and her sister, man. Prayers go out to you because I know vacation will never be the same. But this is an eye opener. Stop traveling and leaving the damn resort or where you supposed to be. That's it. I'm just a messenger.
Shout out to him. It's so weird hearing him so serious because he's usually messing around with his cardigan. But I agree. Like when y'all go on holiday, please just stay. And this is why I book hotels and resorts that have everything. They have spa. When I go with my kids, they have the splash pools. They just have good food. Like there's no reason to leave because again, leaving your house, leaving the resort, you can get hit by a bus, a stray bullet. People, please just go on holiday or vacation. Just go to the beach and relax, please. You have beachfront hotels. I know it was an Airbnb, so obviously they still had to go out. And some people like to mingle with the locals, but again, you could be like mingling with someone that's got money on their head, like 1 mil. Jeez, but for me, yeah, the story keeps changing again. Everything's alleged. I wasn't there because he's saying that they were all in his car, but I've heard that it was just her that was in his car. So their personal driver came to pick them up, and obviously he's like, "Oh, where's Denisha?" And then they've said, "Oh no, she's met someone. She's staying." But he's saying that they all went in the guy's car. He dropped them all off, and then she stayed in his. It's crazy, but yeah, the funeral, she's buried now. But praise to the family because obviously they're still trying to fight for justice. But it's giving the whole Shrinkilla Robinson all over again. The Cabo Five. Her family is still fighting for justice, and that was about 3 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, again, these countries, South America, the Caribbean, they don't care, especially when you come from the Western America, the UK, like, they don't care. They're like, and being black, you know what I mean? It could be different if they were white, but you're black as well. They don't care. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and please share it. I want to spread awareness with this video. But yes, traveling for this year, please do stay safe. Please like, comment, and subscribe and share. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.